I'm Kai Brodersen. I'm Professor of Classics of Antike Kultur in German at the University of Erfurt. And my own interest is especially in looking into ancient people's minds. Why bother study classics? Why deal with a world that is ages ago, that doesn't relate to our world, or so it seems? That's a question you will have asked yourselves, and it's a question that I've asked myself and people have asked me when I started studying the ancient world all those years ago. The quick answer is, my fascination with the field is that it allows us to look into people's minds that were our predecessors, and that allows us to understand a different way of approaching the world, which at the same time is a heritage that we still use. What's the attraction of applying a modern concept on the ancient world, as we are trying to do this in the graduate school? Again, history has to reinvent itself because we are working for contemporary people who are interested in our field, and we have to use models that allow us to interpret the evidence in a way that is novel and allows us to understand the way that the ancient world approached problems that we ourselves might face as well. One of the ideas one can follow up is the imagined power of stones. When I approached my students in a seminar about that, I was surprised to find that some of them actually took out stones from their own pockets, which they have against toothache, lovesickness, nervousness, or any other ailment that they perceive. And in a way, they could relate to an ancient text in a completely different way from somebody who is very rational and feels that can't be true. The major question behind it is, how does this idea, unreflected idea perhaps with some of us, help us to understand the ways that ancient minds work? How does one first encounter the ancient world? One of the ways that perhaps many of you are familiar with is by seeing ancient sites, by traveling to places that have ruins or museums that have ancient remnants. The interesting thing there is that, again, we react emotionally to these places or objects. And as an ancient historian, what you do is you study the context in which these were made and what drove the people who created arts and monuments to think in the way that resulted in that kind of object or building. If you share that passion for exploring the ancient world and applying modern concepts, certainly one of the useful things that you might bring to Erfurt is a knowledge of the ancient languages, but also an enthusiasm for studying them, applying modern concepts.